What if I told you that just one small daily habit could completely transform your life? No need for dramatic turning points. No need for luck or opportunities to fall from the sky. The secret lies in the small things you do consistently every single day. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, once spoke about the compound effect, the power of accumulation. Every coin you save, every book you read, every workout you commit to, they all add up to create a better version of yourself. Just like the old saying goes, little by little, a little becomes a lot. Picture this: a person plants a tree and waters it a little every day. At first, nothing seems to happen. But after just a few months, a vibrant green sprout emerges from the soil. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to plant these habit seeds in your own life. There's something truly fascinating about success, a hidden truth that often goes unnoticed. It doesn't come from magical breakthroughs or sudden leaps forward. Instead, it comes from small, steady steps taken consistently over time. Let's start with a simple fact. The human brain naturally resists abrupt change. It's not because we're weak or lazy, it's biology. When you try to make a massive change overnight, let's say, going from couch potato to running 10 kilometers daily, your brain triggers an internal alarm, warning. Danger. Too much stress. Your body reacts as if you're under attack, causing you to feel overwhelmed and quickly lose motivation. That's why so many New Year's resolutions fail by February. But here's the good news. When you make small, manageable changes, like a 5-minute morning walk or just reading a few pages of a book before bed, your brain doesn't see it as a threat. Instead, it rewards you with a small burst of dopamine, a feel-good chemical that boosts your sense of achievement. This tiny win becomes addictive, in a good way. It motivates you to continue, building a positive cycle of progress. Scientists call this concept marginal gains, small, incremental improvements that add up over time to produce remarkable results. There's something fascinating about success that most people overlook. It doesn't come from giant leaps, but from small, steady steps. Our brains are naturally resistant to sudden change. When you try to make drastic shifts, like going from being sedentary to running 10 kilometers a day, your brain sends out alarm signals, danger, stress. As a result, it becomes easy to give up after just a few days. But when you make tiny changes, like walking for just 5 minutes every morning, or simply spending 3 minutes each night reading a few pages, your brain doesn't perceive it as a threat. On the contrary, it welcomes the small win, creating a sense of achievement that motivates you to keep going. This is what scientists call marginal gains, small but consistent improvements. There's a famous story about the British cycling team. In the past, they barely won any major titles. But after adopting the marginal gains strategy, improving every tiny detail, like adjusting the seat position, enhancing the fabric of their uniforms, or simply optimizing how they cleaned the wheels, they went on to win 5 gold medals at the Olympics and dominated cycling competitions for years. Or take Warren Buffett, known as the Oracle of Omaha. His fortune didn't come from flashy, high-risk investments, but from steady, disciplined long-term investing. By consistently investing every year, his wealth grew exponentially thanks to the power of compound interest. Even if you want to start living a healthier life, you don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Just start by adding 1 glass of water in the morning or spending 5 minutes meditating before bed. These small changes are not only easier to stick with, but they also create a momentum that builds over time, helping you lay a solid foundation for lasting success. Remember this: successful people aren't necessarily making bigger decisions than you, they're simply choosing to accumulate small gains, day by day. When starting to build a new habit, most people are full of enthusiasm. But unfortunately, the majority of us fall into the same mistakes that render our initial efforts meaningless. The first mistake: expecting results too quickly. Most people want to see immediate outcomes. They start a diet, and after just 3 days without seeing weight loss, they feel disappointed and give up. But remember, the effect of small gains requires time. A seed needs time to sprout. Just like when you deposit money into a savings account, in the first few days, you won't notice any difference. But over time, compound interest works its magic. The second mistake, changing too many things at once. Many people, when starting a new lifestyle, try to overhaul everything at the same time, waking up at 5 a.m., exercising for an hour, following a strict diet, and quitting social media altogether. The problem is, when you change too many things at once, your brain gets overwhelmed and easily crashes. As a result, you might keep it up for a few days, but soon you'll revert back to old habits. The third mistake, not tracking progress. Quite a few people start new habits but never track their progress. When you don't measure, it's easy to feel like you're not making any progress at all. On the other hand, simply recording a few basic numbers each day allows you to clearly see improvement, even the smallest, and that will motivate you to keep going. The fourth mistake, blaming yourself for small failures. Most people, when they skip a workout or overeat for a day, feel guilty and are tempted to give up altogether. But the truth is, small failures don't ruin the entire journey. It's like driving. If you take a wrong turn, do you quit the trip? Of course not. You simply get back on the right route. Remember, success is not flawless perfection, but the persistence to get back up every time you fall. Story 1, The 10,000 Dong Jar, Peter and the Lesson of Persistence. Story. Peter was a young office worker. Every day on his way to work, he would spend around 10,000 dong on small treats, a drink, a snack, things that seemed insignificant. One day, Peter decided to try something different. Instead of buying snacks, he would put that 10,000 dong into a small glass jar on his desk. In the first week, there were only a few small bills in the jar. Peter chuckled to himself, this probably won't amount to much. But he kept going. Every morning, before starting work, Peter would drop 10,000 dong into the jar and feel a small sense of pride. After a month, the jar felt heavier. After 6 months, when he finally counted the money, he had saved over 1.5 million dong, enough to sign up for the personal development course he had always dreamed of. And the best part? It wasn't the money itself, but the new habit he had built, a small act of daily discipline that had become a part of his life. Story 2, Peter and James, who went further? Story. After the holiday break, Peter and James, two close friends, both decided to live a healthier lifestyle. Peter came up with an ambitious plan: wake up at 5 a.m., work out for an hour, follow a strict diet, read books, and quit social media. James, on the other hand, chose a gentler approach. He simply aimed to wake up 15 minutes earlier each morning and do a 10-minute stretching routine. No pressure, no force. After 3 days, Peter felt exhausted and began to procrastinate. By the 5th day, he gave up. Meanwhile, James steadily kept up his small habit. After 1 month, he added a 15-minute jog to his routine. After 3 months, he made adjustments to his diet. And after 6 months, James was healthier, more positive, and had successfully maintained a new lifestyle. Lesson? Drastic changes often fade fast. Start small, and you'll go much further. Part 4, How to Start Building Small Habits Effectively. Introduction, Explanation and Setup. Did you know? One of the most common reasons people fail at building new habits is because they try to change too much, too quickly. The truth is, our brains dislike sudden changes. When you ask it to take on too many new things at once, it feels overwhelmed and quickly retreats to its familiar comfort zone. But there's a smarter way: start with the smallest, easiest habits. It's not about transforming your entire life overnight, but about creating a gentle, comfortable beginning that your brain can easily accept, and that doesn't make you feel pressured. And most importantly, use proven strategies. Pushpin: start with the shortest possible time, even just 2 to 5 minutes a day. Pushpin: track your progress to stay motivated. Pushpin: anchor your new habit to an existing one. Pushpin: create a sense of accountability by sharing your goals with others or joining a community. I'm going to share with you 4 short stories. Each one is a simple tip to help you start building new habits without pressure, and most importantly, to sustain them in the long run. White heavy checkmark. Story 1. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Story. Peter always struggled with getting out of bed in the morning. When the alarm clock went off, all he wanted was to hit snooze and stay under the covers a little longer. Instead of forcing himself to wake up at 5 a.m. and exercise for a full hour, Peter decided to spend just the first 5 minutes of each day taking deep breaths and stretching right in bed. Just 5 minutes. No pressure. And something amazing happened. After a week, he started to get used to it. After a month, Peter began to add a few stretching exercises and drank a warm glass of water every morning. His mornings began to feel much more positive. Lesson? Starting small makes it easier for your brain to accept change, paving the way for bigger, better habits. Story 2. Tracking progress with a habit journal. Story. Did you know that one of the simplest ways to stick to a habit is by writing down your progress every day? Peter decided to give it a try. He bought a small notebook, and each day he simply wrote down 3 things. What did I do today? How did I feel? What do I want to do tomorrow? At first, it was just a few short lines. But whenever he flipped back to the first pages, Peter realized how far he had come. The notebook became a living proof of his perseverance, and it kept him from giving up halfway. Lesson? Writing things down helps you clearly see your progress and stay motivated every single day. Story 3. Anchoring a new habit to an existing one. Story. Have you ever forgotten to do a new habit because you were just too busy? Peter had the same problem. But he discovered a simple strategy: anchor the new habit to an existing one. He always brushed his teeth every morning, so he decided that right after brushing his teeth, he would drink a glass of warm water. This way, he didn't need to set reminders or rely on memory. The new habit became a natural extension of his existing routine. A smart way to build a lasting habit. Lesson? Anchoring a new habit to an existing one makes it much easier to maintain, without having to rely on willpower or memory. Part 5. How to overcome challenges in maintaining habits. Introduction, explanation and setup. When you start building a new habit, everything often feels exciting at first. But the real challenge isn't in the beginning, it's in keeping the habit going day after day. In the early days, your motivation is high. But inevitably, there will be days when you're tired, busy, or simply not in the mood. So, how do you get through those unpleasant moments? The key is to lower the barriers as much as possible and focus on consistency over perfection. Remember, maintaining a habit isn't about doing it perfectly every time. The most important thing is not to break the streak. Let me share 2 stories with you to help you understand how to overcome difficulties and maintain your habits for the long term. White heavy checkmark. Story 1. Peter and the minimalist version of his habit. Story. Peter had been keeping up his habit of running every morning. Everything was going well until he hit a stressful week at work. That morning, it was drizzling outside, he felt sluggish, and he just didn't feel like going for a run. But instead of skipping it altogether, Peter asked himself, what's the simplest, most minimal version of this habit? He decided that he didn't need to go for a full run that day. Instead, he just stepped out onto his balcony, took some deep stretches, and walked lightly around his home for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. But it helped him keep the habit alive. The next day, feeling better, he went back to his usual running routine. Lesson? When things get tough, switch to this minimalist version of your habit to maintain momentum. Story 2. Peter and the no 2 days in a row rule. Story. Peter used to struggle with a big problem. If he skipped a habit just once, he would easily give up altogether. After some reflection, he adopted a very simple rule: never miss 2 days in a row. One evening, Peter had an urgent matter to attend to and couldn't read as he usually did before bed. But he told himself, that's okay. But tomorrow, I must get back to it. The next day, even though he was still tired, he picked up his book and read a few short pages. Not because he felt motivated, but because he didn't want to break his rule. And just like that, by following the no 2 days in a row rule, Peter managed to maintain his reading habit for months. Lesson? Missing 1 day is okay, as long as you get back to it the next day. Don't let 2 skip days break your chain of progress. Part 6, Strong Finish, Start today, no more waiting. Take a moment to think about this. You don't need to take giant leaps. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to wait until you have more time or feel ready. Changing your life begins with the smallest actions, starting today. Just one simple action. One good choice each day. One small, steady step. Because you know what? Big results aren't magic, they are the result of daily perseverance, of quiet efforts made consistently. And the best part? You're not alone on this journey. We'll continue this together in the next videos, where I'll share with you strategies, tools, and real-life stories to help you not just start, but sustain and multiply your positive habits. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, so you won't miss the upcoming content. We'll keep moving forward together, one small step at a time, and you'll be amazed at what you'll become in the future. See you in the next video.